What up, y'all? Here we are with another land video. Today's video is going to be mainly about possible additional cost when it comes to purchasing a piece of land. Before we get into all that, of course, hit the like button, the subscribe button, the notification bell. They all really go a long way as to helping out this channel. Actually, even before I do that, of course, there's something I got to do. I'm gonna go knock all this stuff out real quick. I gotta water this stuff up and get it ready for load tomorrow. You guys are already on all the extra YouTube stuff, so let me go knock this out. I'll be right back. Got some water on you guys. All right, y'all. Additional cost to owning a piece of property or buying a piece of property. Straight off the bat, y'all, if your main goal is to just be camping on this property, then most of this stuff isn't gonna really pertain to you. But if you wanna stick around, stick around. However, if that camping trip does turn into a prolonged amount of time being, if I'm not mistaken, about a month or so, you know, some of these things you actually might have to consider doing. So let's just get into it. Number one, I'm not really going by an order. However, I do feel like number one should be the first thing that you should do. That is making a road or driveway, some kind of pathways to where you want your structure to be, meaning your house and other, you know, main elements. So if you want a barn, if you have a big farm or greenhouse or anything like that, you know, you want to have ways to get there by car or some kind of vehicle, right? So definitely want roads. Also, the other reason why I say this is your first thing that you need to have is because when it comes to putting in your house or whatever structure, you're going to need a pretty, you need a decent road to get there. You don't want to be hauling around all this heavy equipment and lumber and all that stuff on these bumpy ass roads, you know what I'm saying? My Gina. Then we push. There's all the trees though. I mean, it's pretty dope. I don't know how to get supplies in and out of here. And so you definitely want to make sure your road is established before pretty much anything else. The cost on roads, I am not 100% certain, seeing that I've only gotten one quote, and that quote came with the next thing I'm going to be talking to you about. I had to guess to put in a road, it's probably going to be right about $3,000 to $4,000 depending on how much you're going to be putting in. So it's probably by the foot. That's probably how they'll charge. However, putting in a road, I feel is something that is pretty easy to do. I wouldn't say easy to do, but it's something that I can actually handle myself, especially with a couple friends, some time in a truck, in a grader. I think we could probably handle that. Some shovels, getting rocks and stuff like that all out of our way, making a road, and then making it smooth as we kind of go through with a grader or some kind of heavy, a grate, right, that we can stand on or put rocks on and then drag that smooth. I'm fairly confident that we can probably do that with what it is that I already have accessible to me. So I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal. I don't think I'm going to need any kind of bobcats or anything like that. That right there is going to be the very first thing that I do. But again, I kind of want to know where I'm going to be putting my structures before I even do that. So like I said, that's probably going to be your number one. Number two is, it's kind of funny I'm even saying it's number two, septic. From what I've found is in most places, the septic is kind of, I don't want to call it the make or break, but kind of the main thing that even the most lenient counties have out there that they need you to have, and that's a septic, right? So they don't want that water table to get contaminated. It makes perfect sense, you know what I'm saying? I know a lot of people are doing a lot of compostable toilets and stuff like that. What I found, again, some places are cool with it and then some places are not. So again, it's another thing that you want to look into your county. Now, to have a septic system installed, again, depends on where it is that you're going to be moving. But what I found is it's going to be right about $1,500, clear up to right about $4,000 to $5,000. I think that was with the 1,200 gallon tank. I think that's what that was for. Pretty sure that's going to depend on the workload, how hard it is to get to your building, or how hard it is to get to your, the desired place for the tank and all that kind of stuff, you know what I mean? But in Colorado, I was told there's a guy that does both. The road as well as install your septic for right about $8,000. So if you're moving out to Colorado, oh no, I don't know that guy's name. I didn't get a card or anything like that. It was just something that somebody had told me. You could put structure in here somewhere as well. I'm not really going to talk too much about structure. In fact, all these things I'm talking about right now, y'all, I will go back over in detail one by one later on, especially when I start doing it to my own property. We'll probably circle back around that again to show exactly the process. But as I start getting more information and more knowledge, I'll definitely be sharing it with you guys. But I definitely want to start breaking a lot of these things down one by one, as well as talking to a lot of people, professionals that are in this, as well as other homesteaders or off-graders or van lifers that have actually purchased land and, you know, have turned raw land into a home. The third thing that I would definitely want to start considering, especially if you're going to be there for a prolonged amount of time, and that's a water source, right? A lot of people, you know, want to talk about wells and stuff like that, but to be 100 with y'all, dude, wells are expensive, man. I've heard wells going clear up to like $50,000. Wells could be really expensive. However, to truck your water in is relatively cheap. A lot of places it could be free. Some is right about $1 for 100 gallon. Right? So, and this is drinkable water, y'all. Chances are, for me, that's what I'm going to be doing, at least in the beginning. My plan isn't really to be staying there pretty much full time. Kind of plan to be going back and forth or just going there and then other places. But eventually, I definitely want to have a structure on there. And I definitely want to make sure that we have water. Another good way for your water is a water catchment, especially if you're going to be living in a place that gets a lot of snow, that gets a lot of rain. You definitely want to, you know, think about some water catchment and stuff like that, either above ground or underground. Of course, underground is going to be a little bit more expensive, but it might be worth it to you, you know, in the long run. Frugal Off Grid is another cat in Arizona. Yeah, I just seen him build a really cool pond, like swell little system that diverging water from his, I believe it was like his parking lot and around his shed, just into like an area that would be cool for a pond. And you know, that's really cool. That's something that's definitely up my alley, man, to be building some different swans building different swells and ponds as well. Just, you know, really start working on just a really cool permaculture type of landscape, man. But we'll get into all that kind of stuff later on as well. Also, gray water systems. There's all kind of things that you can do, especially starting from the ground up, I feel, you know. All kind of different systems that you can build, put onto your property that is going to make it way more efficient than any home, really, that you buy outside of building your own home. Those are your three main things that you're going to, or actually four main things. So did we go over what? This thing, I think it's four, right? So it was your roads. Number one, I think that that's your most important. Two is going to be your septic, and that's mostly because of the county. Three would be your water, and then just the different ways in which you can get water onto your property. And then four, of course, we'll get into this in other videos. Actually, we can get into this now. Four would be your structure. I kind of brought it up before. I didn't really want to talk too much about structure because the cost of your structure, shit, man, it could be the RV that you already own, it could be the van that you already own, it could be whatever it is, your tent, whatever it is that you choose to do that you already own. So zero, all the way up to however much you want. In time, we will definitely be talking. I kind of want to just kind of keep structure, be it tiny home, whatever. I kind of want to keep that to its own separate video because that's its own several videos, to be honest with you. We'll definitely get to that, but it is definitely something that you want to think about. And then, of course, like I kind of brought up before, you know, your gates, security systems, things like that, you know. Every week I get into a conversation with somebody about land now, and they're always asking me, like, is there something on this land? Is it just nothing on this land? So yeah, it just made me think, you know what, man, it might be important to let people know that, yeah, man, you're pulling up to rocks or juniper trees. There's nothing there. You know what I mean? There's absolutely nothing there. You guys have seen it on my video. That's on some of my videos, that's what you get. You know what I mean? Just land. For me, that's something that's well worth it and something that I'm really looking forward to doing. But, you know, to others, you might want to actually have a structure or something on that piece of property. And then another thing, like I was getting at on my last video, you know, all these improvements, quote unquote, to the land that you're doing, now, you know, is actually kind of money in the bank for you, because now you're actually improving the land. Now you're making it actually more appealing to somebody else that might want to buy the property, that is looking at it like, yo, I don't want to do any of this work. It makes it a lot easier, probably for a nice resale value as well, if you do choose to sell it down the road. Yeah, man, so that's about 4 things I can think of. I would really love and appreciate if anybody that's already out here doing the off-grid life wants to chime in here. I've had a couple of you guys hit me up already, but hit me up about some of the prices that you guys seen, some of the other costs that you guys might have ran into, because there's, you know, there's like a lot of hidden things out there, you know. I'm not even talking about your own food supply here, you know, like ranching, making a farm, big garden. I'm not even talking about any of that stuff in this video, you know what I'm saying? But that's definitely something that you want to think about as you begin or continue this land journey of yours. You know what I mean? You definitely want to think about how you're going to be getting food to or from, because the further out you are, you know, there's going to be less amenities, if you will. So you want to definitely make sure that your food source is unlocked. You have the ability to get food whatever it is that you want. It's going to be a bit of a learning curve for even myself. So, you know, I think these little videos like this, us kind of getting together and building and talking, is going to make it a lot easier for us if we kind of just have a database to kind of spring from. Anyway, guys, I hope this video helps. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe, and I will talk to y'all soon, man. Happy hunting out there, y'all. Don't let nothing stop you. Again, I hear people constantly saying I would if I would, but at the end of the day, it's like this. That's what sucks about excuses. Who did I hear say this? It makes perfect sense. That's what sucks about excuses. They all have truth behind them. You know what I mean? You got to be able to see through that truth, through that fear, to your truth in order to obtain what it is that you want. Now, anyway, I'll leave you guys with that. Peace. What's good, y'all? Me, my grand dog, Poppy, we're out here. Because we forgot to talk about one crucial piece that you guys definitely are going to need if you're going off-grid, or more than likely you're going to end up needing if you decide to go off-grid, and that's power. I don't know how I forgot that, but here I am, me, young Pop. Otis is somewhere out there wilding out, but anyway, power, y'all, power. So more than likely than not, the majority of us that are going to be doing this whole thing, the majority of us are actually going to be using solar, unless of course we're able to tap in to some existing power lines that already might be very close to the parts of the piece of property that you got. That's what I got to deal with right now. So more than likely solar is going to be the way. Otis, what you? It's Poppy, man. Why are you holding another dog? Now, the amount of solar you're going to be needing, obviously, is going to depend on the amount of structure that you're going to have, right? Or that you plan on having at the end of the day. I'm not going to really go into prices like that, at least not just yet. Again, we'll go into a lot more detail on a lot of these things individually coming up soon. Right now, I'm just kind of planting the seed to let you guys know that, hey, if you want to do this a little bit longer out there or make this a permanent thing, these are some of the things you're going to have to be thinking about and eventually obtain. Another good source of energy that I do see, but I don't see a lot of, and that's wind. And that's definitely something I'll be playing with. Actually, even at the house in Fontana. The house in Fontana already is on solar as well, but I definitely want to be playing with some alternative energies. Not exactly sure what her problem is at the moment, but she don't like things changing too much. So she sees Otis jumping, she starts barking. Anyway, y'all, that's about it. I hope this one helps. Keep in mind again, y'all, this isn't something that has to be done overnight. You know what I'm saying? This is something that you actually have time, depending on, you know, what it is that you're going to probably be doing out there. But a lot of these things, they don't have to be done tomorrow. So you can actually save up to get them. Hope this one helps, y'all. Me and Poppy, we're going to chill in this Cali sun right now. Poppy's falling. I'll catch y'all, man. Peace. And here comes this.